Thank you for telling me that there is no sound. What's the timestamp? That's the mistake I make so often, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I use different software for each different live stream, and so I'm sorry about that. I'm going to continue on. And grateful that you are there to tell me that there's no sound, because it sounds good to me. Good to have you along. So anyway, we're looking at BCH ABC. It was a buy. It was an alert, or an alert, but it's pulled back. So I'm going to put it just as to neutral. BCN. Actually, I got to go look at BCH SV, and I've just been ignoring this and passing it. I don't even have a place for it in the spreadsheet here. And it blasted off and did insane moves. And when we pull this back, it did a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And maybe I could have had an alert ready for that, but I wouldn't have been able to trade that myself, because I've got this rule that once it blasts off, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to. Maybe here at this consolidation, there could have been a time to put the trade on, but this one blasted and got away from me. So I'm going to have to add a column in here, insert one to the right. And you know what? I've got to do that correctly, otherwise it screws up all of the other columns. So let me continue on. Hey, 2012 Reggae Man, good to have you along. Now that my sound is working, BCN, wow, okay, this was a fail. Now it turns up to neutral right from there, and it could turn into a buy. I don't discount that this market may not pump. Look at what happened to Clam Coin. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation so that it stays neutral. I like that this stays neutral. The more of these that are holding and staying neutral and not going to near fail status overall is good for us. Bitcoin, of course, stays as a hold because we're using the simple trading plan, which requires that we hold this until the exponential moving averages cross over on the 4-hour time frame or the 12-hour time frame. 12-hour being the better error for this trading approach. So we're really stepping back and letting the market swing around if we're not getting out until the 12-hour time crossover. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, not making a near fail, staying in the neutral status. Good to see. Clam, I think it's going to be marked as a fail forever. I don't think I'll ever recommend this market ever again. I think they'll, anyway. Civic Coin has a use case, and it's still neutral. According to the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Dash is a 1, 2, 3, and it's looking pretty good, but it made such a wide 1, 2, 3 that it's hard to trade, because if you put your entry, say your entry is right above those levels, and then you put your stop loss down below these levels, that's a big spread. That's a lot of percentage swing of your prices. And so for my own part, I'm kind of waiting for this to consolidate into a tighter formation first before I can get a signal out of it, no matter what it's doing. All that said, it's neutral in our study here because it's in between the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's not going higher or lower. Now Decreed did a turnaround and turned itself from a fail into a neutral because of this double hit off this bottom, these from the 27th to the 29th, and then a bit of green going on there. So now it bumps up to neutral, not a near fail, and we'll see how this consolidates. This could be the beginning of the turnaround in the bottom formation there. Digibyte. So if while you guys are watching this stream, I'm going through this study, and I'm grateful to have you here. I really hope it helps you. Here is the example of potential to add on or potential to sell out of this move as it was breaking out, and now it's coming back to these levels. It's retesting for sure. We had it as an alert. I'll leave it as an alert. It could go neutral tomorrow. Dogecoin was marked as a near fail because it was right at these levels, and then it's got a big surge of buying volume and pulled back a bit. It's actually turned right to an alert from there. Hey Eric, good to have you along as well. EOS is a surprise one. It took off and it's got some news going on. A lot of selling. I was kind of suspect of it, and we'll see where it goes, but it's still marked as a hold because it's above our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's above this 1, 2, 3, and then it broke out above and it's holding above. I don't know what reason, who knows? That's not what I try to figure out, but I just watch these formations and it catches all of that news that I don't even pay attention to. Ethereum Classic is making the 1, 2, 3 and pulled back, so it's giving us a really nice formation. Really nice, but not an action formation yet. I'll leave it as an alert. Ethereum was marked as an alert yesterday because of this consolidation and potential for it to go up. Now it's pulled back. Who knows? I'm going to leave it as neutral. Who knows what it's going to do from here? I like that it stayed above this support and resistance level. That's great. Factum, with Bitcoin coming down, is Factum going to start its move up? We're watching for this bottom formation to shape up. I'll leave it as a near fail. I'll bump it up one. And then foam. Hey, that's actually picked up from neutral to alert. And it could be a hold if it goes up higher than this because it's moving above those levels. Game has been a fail and remains a fail. Gas was an alert, and I'm going to leave it as an alert, actually. It's looking good. It's pulled back a little bit, but it's staying above these levels. More strength will turn it into a hold just from where it is. GNT stays an alert a little bit lower, and I would make it a negative or neutral, but I'll leave it as an alert. Partly because of the signals like the on-balance volume, the RSI, and the MACD indicators. When I check it against this, they're all looking good underneath this coin. Grin is a newer coin. We had an entry and then we got kicked out because we put the stop loss just above our entry. Perfect. This is the ideal way to lose a trade. Perfect. Now we're waiting for it to consolidate and start something else. This could be a springboard trade entry here, but no harm in waiting a little bit longer on this one. I'll leave it as neutral and we'll see what goes on with that in the next few days. Kyber Network token is neutral. I like the buying volume underneath it. Library credits. I feel bad for this project that it's down to such low levels. It was a fail the other day. I'm going to leave it as a fail. Loom. Okay, this is a better chart formation. It was an alert. Okay, I will leave it as an alert. But those buying candles underneath it is looking pretty good, actually. LPT was a fail last time. It stays a fail. So we're not getting a big turnaround in the alts that I'm wanting to see yet. But we're also not getting a mass dumpage. This will stay, I'll say neutral. We're not getting a mass dumpage, which is the next best thing to a bull move. This is pulled back a little bit, but I'm going to leave it as a hold, as in its bullishness. That's not enough to kick it up back to a neutral stance. MadeSafe coin had moved up into a bullish position, and sure enough, it holds it. It's above these levels. It'll hold it for a little bit as it floats around here until it comes dangerously back. Mana, a project I'm actually interested in, and it's pulling back neutral. So beware of it. If it's a project that I'm interested in long term, it's probably not one to be buying into. Navcoin, neutral still. NMR, neutral to near fail. Yeah, neutral, I guess. A little bit lower, and I'll call it a near fail. NXT, I'm not expecting anything, and not disappointed. OMG. Okay, it stays neutral. It was an alert. It's pulled back a little bit. I'll make it work to go back to an alert status. Omni, not expecting anything. Good. Pascal, okay, it's getting more solid there. So this is a fail for that one. And I'll say near fail for Pascal. It's moved up a whole lot to Poly. We saw, where did we do this? Just in, the other channel. I did this in for Binance. Poly, it's just not shaping up that nice. It's near fail still. It could turn into an alert and pop up. I don't, not buying it too much. Quantum. 1, 2, 3 bottom, neutral, not breaking out yet. So we'll have to be doing this for the next few days at least. I'm going to say that's a fail. At least the next few days to go through and catch all these bottoms as they're doing something. We've got a lot of near fails and neutrals. Let's see what SNT was up to an alert last time, and now pull back a bit. Yeah, I'll leave it as an alert, but it's pretty close to neutral. Steam, I was liking the chart on Steam on Binance, but it's not showing nearly the volume pattern here as it was on Binance. So I'll leave it as neutral, and it's almost like a near fail. That's pretty close. Storage, also I'll say neutral, but it's pushing the near fail territory. Stellar, Lumens, I'll leave it with the same neutral status, but it was starting to show some promise and then pulled back as Bitcoin got its Strat, 4 higher lows. I like that part of it, so it stays neutral, and it could turn into an alert pretty quickly. If this starts to turn around and start to push against these levels, that'll turn into an alert in no time. Viacoin stays as a fail. Could be near fail, but I'll leave it as fail. VTC, and I'm surprised with Viacoin and VTC actually. Not that I'm a professional and on what they are doing in their project, but the chart patterns didn't lead me to expect that this was going to happen. This is going to be a near fail in this one again. XEM. Okay, I like the pattern of it, but it still stays neutral for action items. XMR. I'm expecting this to be going down. I like this consolidation a little bit better actually. So it stays neutral. And we'll see if it turns into a sell signal bouncing off this red line and dropping down or not. XPM. XPM. It didn't take long to trade that one. Ripple. 1, 2, 3 bottom, pulling back a little bit, so it's consolidating nice. Neutral. I don't know about neutral of Ripple. I don't know. So many conflicting opinions about it. So we'll just watch the chart pattern. ZEC, Zcash, some nice buys coming into that. That's some important moves there. So here it is, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's broken out above it and it's come back. So if you had purchased out of the bottom formation as it was taking off, then you would be wanting to either close that position, or it's small enough that you can let it ride down until these levels, thinking that this is the big turnaround and you just, got in a bit early. The other thing is that now it's consolidating here. If it holds and goes sideways until tomorrow and then starts to show strength, then that's going to confirm for the rest of us that, right, it's a good entry. So it's marked as an alert, and I'll leave it as an alert until it shows that it's not fading back afterwards. ZRX is neutral. Now we get to add these things up. That's the cool part. One of the cool parts. And I love having this stuff because it really helps my own trading over on Binance, because I get the overall market sentiment. So a little less bearish, a little bit even in the bullishness, and more neutral coins. So that's pretty good that some of the bearishness have turned up to neutral on average when we go through this. We've still got quite a bit of red, quite a bit of orange, quite a bit of gray, not a whole big line of yellow shaping up, a whole big line of yellow turning green. None of that stuff shaping up yet, where you've got probably weeks of it to shape up. Here is from January until February, middle of February. You can just see the color change as everybody's freaking out here. It's near fails and fails. And then it turns around in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 7, 8, 9 days. Then we had the turnaround and it all started to go bullish everywhere, everything. Another week after that, then we're really into the bull market right up until March 28th here. This was the peak of it, and everything would have been turning to blue cold fish right after that. And that's what we're hunting for now, is this next wave of the prices going through that range and showing us that they're going from reds and oranges to grays and yellows, and then greens. Good to have you along, Jamie. I'm going to do a couple more charts that I want to have studied so that when we do go back and review this, we have this captured. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And first I'll go out to the long-term view to give a perspective. So here's back in 2013. Every one of these blue boxes is an altcoin bull run. Altcoin bull run, altcoin bull run, altcoin bull run. And then I didn't do the boxes here, but this is an altcoin bull run. We can see that there's a difference here. Sometimes the bull run happened when Bitcoin prices were going up and the dominance was increasing. This means altcoins really mooned. Then other times altcoins went up as Bitcoin dominance was decreasing. So they did well, but they didn't moon as hard. So here again, we had altcoins did really well as Bitcoin dominance was decreasing. Then in December to January, they really took off and Bitcoin dominance didn't decrease as quickly, but alts really mooned hard here. It was great. So now we're watching for Bitcoin dominance to come down and altcoins to moon. And the other chart that we're comparing that against to here is the 5-year view is the altcoin market cap versus dominance. So every time we have this uptrend, this is altcoins taking off. This is the average of all the altcoins blasting off. Then we had this bear trend, then a big blast off again, then this enormous bear trend going down, 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 down. Here we are at this bottom. Either we're going to slip hard and it's going to be painful for the alts, or alts are going to be taking off and we're going to get more altcoin bull market as Bitcoin dominance shifts one way or the other. Now we're going to be watching to see which way does it shift, because some people are saying that Bitcoin dominance is going to take over. Everybody who only knows about Bitcoin, they don't know about the rest of the alts. The whole world is going to be enamored with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance is going to go from the 58%, 56% up to 70, 72% dominance. If that happens, the altcoins are going to get hammered and crushed. And this is our studies now so that we can determine that. And I want to zoom in so that we can see the point of the ship, as it were, right to the very point of it. So we're from May 1st until now, April 1st, I'm sorry, until now, we're in a big trend where Bitcoin dominance was taking over and crushing all of the alts. All of the alts went on a downtrend. Now, when I zoom into this same time frame, we can see that from April 1st until May 13th, all of the alts went on a 6-week downtrend, exponential, like a parabolic move down. And then we had the capitulation bounce and consolidation. From that, we've been watching this unfold as it's moving higher and expecting this is going to be blasting. And should this be blasting as Bitcoin dominance is dropping, we should see altcoins moon. And that means all of these bottom formations that we're seeing as we're panning through each of these coins, we're saying it's coming up, it's coming up. We should be seeing a lot of these over the next 2 weeks starting to cross over and turn into buy signals for us. We should see that unfolding in our color-coded spreadsheet. Now, if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you've been hanging out through this, watching this whole video, I appreciate having you here. And I recommend that you go over to the website, digitalcurrencytraders.com, and get the free chapter to the book. Don't put it off till later and then get it, and then you'll read it and go, what a difference it would have made. This is the time. After all of the 18 months of waiting for the altcoins to come back, this is the kind of formation that we are waiting for. So get that free chapter. You'll understand more about exactly what we're talking about here in this trading plan, and it'll help you understand more about this spreadsheet as well. Thanks again for tuning in. I will sign off for now and wish you guys all the best in your cryptocurrency trading. Cheers.